Hello, 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 and welcome back. For all of those who are returning, hey, and for those who are new, welcome. Come get this good knowledge, okay? And before I get started on the 3 questions you need to ask before computing 3 calculations for a project or task, I'm going to tell you the story that got me there. So, I got a call one morning. I had to compute 300 plus calculations for voltage drop. I didn't know that though till I saw the email. So I had already agreed to helping with this task, right? Before I even knew what the work really entailed. On the phone, you hear details like, yeah, I need you to complete the voltage drop, so that we can do some comparisons with the other engineers. I'm a helpful person. I'm just like, cool, sure, send it over. But when the email came through and I saw those 279 different feeders I needed to review, a red flag went off of like, uh-oh. Then I remembered they said they need this in 2-3 days. Uh-oh, like I should have asked more questions, gotten more clarification, right? Before I just agreed to this, haphazardly. My desire to want to help people makes me say yes to a lot of things before I've even taken the chance to really get some of those details, because I'm just like, yeah, I know I can help. Like I'm pretty strong in my skill set and what I know. Like, yeah, you need engineers help. I'm the engineer for the job. And that's just how I am. But so I get these 300 feeders that I need to do calculations for voltage drop. Mind blowing. If you haven't heard the story of the ways I use Excel and the benefits of Excel of computing those calculations, check out this video. Okay. If it's not in an iCard in one of these corners, I'm still figuring out YouTube. So if not, it'll be in the link below of, what I learned from that experience, of my reasons for using Excel for that. But with that same job, there are 3 questions you need to make sure you ask before you compute anything that's more than, my range is really 5, but 10 calculations for a task. So question 1, you always need to make sure you ask, what is the desired outcome? Right? When I perform these calculations, what is the desired outcome? Now, this is something you can ask yourself, right? If this is a task that you just, either being the lead of a project or just knowing the typical process on the engineering design side, you can ask yourself. Or like in my case, and a lot of times when we're talking with project managers and team leads and things like that, right? I need to know their desired outcome, okay? Because that determines the work I need to put in, the things I need to make sure are available as deliverables, okay? I need to make sure I'm not overly doing too much work or I'm not giving them too little of information, right? If this is calculations, which all calculations lead to bigger decisions, right? Once you review. But if this is a calculation that's going to be critical to like pricing or design or, just the equipment function overall, I need to make sure I'm providing all the details that are needed. So before I do these calculations and think about doing these calculations, right, especially if it's over 10, right, if it's over 10, I need to make sure I know everything I need to extract from that, okay? Make sure you ask, what is that desired outcome, whether internally to yourself or asking the PM or whoever it is that you're getting the task from. Make sure you're aware of what they are expecting of you as a desired outcome. Okay? Question 2. What is involved in the process of doing the calculation? So again, this is a difference of, internally, right? Like as an engineer, me as an electrical engineer specifically, when I need to do, for example, mechanical loads, right? There's things I need. I need to make sure I have, either a submittal or shop drawing, right? Something that's giving me the details of what is needed electrically for this piece of equipment. Well, there's also processes you need to understand sometimes when you're helping others. Okay, because a lot of times, again, I'm a helpful person. I'm helping people who may not even be doing things that, I burped, So a lot of times I may be helping people that may not be doing tasks directly connected to engineering, right? Still require some calculations, but I need to make sure I understand the process of the way they want to operate things. So when you're helping, for example, another team, right? One engineering team may operate different than another engineering team as far as how they group information or do information that way. So you want to make sure you understand what's involved in the calculation process. Because it's more than just the formulas. A lot of times I think people like restrict down to the formula of like, yeah, I got all the formulas. That's cool. But let's say this. There's a time also I've helped some PMs and some other people from the field, and they were trying to verify lengths of certain distances in certain unit types. So these were apartment units. So they were trying to make sure we're placing the light fixtures in the proper location for them to install so they could rough it in that way. And me, right, if I was just thinking about what I need, I just need to, architecture drawings and, just grab the links from there of the distance and blah, 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 kind of, do my own verification of things. But one thing I would have missed out if I didn't ask the question sooner is how they wanted to receive that information. Well, now that changes my calculation process. Because before, I would have thought, just use typical feet and inches. Bloop, like, we're done. But they actually wanted all of their details given in inches. They didn't want to use feet as the measurement, like feet inches. They wanted to use, or foot inches. They wanted to use all just inch measurements. So what did that do? That affected my calculation process. So that's why it's good to ask that first question of what's desired, right, as the outcome for the calculation, regardless of the calculation. And then part two is also just making sure, right, once you know the desired outcome, what you need to do in your process or in another team's process to get it done, right, smoothly the first time. Because what you don't want to do is do a whole bunch of work and then you find out, oh snap, I got to do even more work, or I should have done it this way, right? It's all about saving and managing time, people. Okay. So 3, the biggest thing, okay, after you know the desired outcome, after you understand the calculation process that needs to be performed, you gotta know who you're presenting to. I mean, it sounds simple, right? But I feel like that's the thing a lot of people forget to ask, right? Who is my audience? Who is this information going to? Because sometimes we do calculations, right? Because remember, we're talking about repetitive things. So this is 10 plus calculations. I do all this work. How am I going to show it? If you do it 20, 25, 100 times, right? How are you going to summarize that? How are you going to describe that to somebody if you need to just send it through an email, right? If it's marking up a drawing, like how are you going to convey that information? If it's in Excel, right? Which always I'm going to use Excel, but anywho, if it's in Excel, right? How are you going to maybe color code or, put little things in there, summarize so that the information is being conveyed the best way for your audience, right? Because everybody's not an engineer, but everybody, may need your help on stuff. So it's good for you to be aware of who you're sending it to. Who is the end user or, benefactor of the work you just did? Because for us, engineers, calculations is like, ooh, calculations. Happy place. But if you send calculations to some people, trust me, math is not everybody's expertise. Just like for me, words are not, like writing papers and things like that are not my expertise. So if somebody sends me, 25-page paper to review, no. In the same way, people are like that about numbers. So you got to be sure you understand your audience so you can present it in a way that is beneficial to them, that they understand the first time around. And if not the first time, with a few clarifying questions, right? Because every time, you can't completely 100% make sure everybody's going to understand what you're showing. But those are 3 questions you need to make sure that you ask, okay? You need to know the desired outcome. right, of your calculations. You need to know the process for the calculations, right? Now that you know the desired outcome. And then last but not least, you need to understand your audience so you can present it in a way that is beneficial for everybody. So everybody knows where your calculations have landed them and everybody's on the same track. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for watching this. I hope, like I say all the time with Skillet, my plan and my goal and my purpose is to just share my experiences and share my knowledge with you guys. And I'm hoping, like always, I kind of shook somebody, made some gears turn of, things that you just need to take into practice and think through the next time you run into a situation. So I hope this was helpful. Let's have discussion in the comments. Below, there will be links to places you can follow me, places you can get more information about where I'm doing a training next, places, all the links of anything provided. And if they're not there, out of date, they will be updated as soon as I can get to them, okay? And once again, thanks. Come back and watch again soon.